Dr. Katrina Sparks, and Ms. Boomshika Rogers. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Dr. Sparks, please introduce yourself, and then Ms. Boomshika.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Katrina R. Sparks. I am an educator. I have been in my profession for over 28 years. I work with children, babies, actually from birth until the age, until adults actually, who are diagnosed with developmental delays.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Boomshika Rogers. I'm a professional administrator of Minding My Business, helping you to mind yours.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Boomshika Rogers. Thank you guys for those introductions. Before we begin our discussion, let's open with some music to kick off today's show. So whether driving in your car or connecting to us by tablet, computer, or cell phone, take some time to enjoy Sun Goddess by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
The three elements.
Yes.
Everybody in the house this evening, make some noise. Wave your hands to the air. Wave them like it just don't care. Come on, y'all. It's your ticket to ride. Come on. A little rabbit doing Earth, Wind, and Fire. 95 style, shout and bring on the pump. That's Mr. Morris' pleasure, y'all. Mr. Morris' pleasure.
I apologize for any issues with music, but that's okay. If you know Earth, Wind, and Fire, we're going to keep it moving regardless, and we'll move into our discussion. Now, I had some comments prepared for Uncork and Unwind, but we can still use those comments. And let me bring my ladies back on. There we go. And so we can still use these comments, but I want to have a little girl talk since that's what this is about today. So we have to pivot and switch. And I was talking to Dr. Sparks before the show, and we got on the subject of her hair and hair products. And so I thought, just for a quick second, let's talk about some products that are for us. They may not always be by us, but for us. And so, Dr. Sparks, you take that first because I have something. It's not by us, but it's definitely for us, or it's working for me.
Well, anybody who knows me knows that I am a hair product junkie. I have any and every gel, cream, and everything. And I think it's through trial and error, just trying everything and trying this and trying that. So this past weekend, after a rough week, I decided, let me go and treat myself. Went to the mall, bought myself some candles, headed over to one of the stores, and lo and behold, I heard a lot about it. Tracy Ellis Ross, everyone knows she's an actor. Blackish, Girlfriends, the daughter of the diva herself, Diana Ross. And I heard for a long time about her products, patterns, because I was a little skeptical. I'm going to be honest, because all curl is not the same. Anyone who is familiar with curls, all curl patterns are different. There's 4Cs, BCs, some is tight curl, or a loose curl, wavy curl is different types. So I came upon the patterns, and I am loving it. I love the way it feels. My hair feels moist, and I just like all her products. I haven't used the conditioner and I haven't used the shampoo yet, but I've been using, like, she has a moisturizing spray, she has a moisturizing cream, and she has the edge control, because even though my hair, I got to lay down the edges. That's important, to lay down the edges. And I love her products, and I just like her, just her whole, she has really, from when I saw the commercials and everything, just her advertising and her just presenting the brand, she's very hands-on. And with Tracy Ellis Ross, everything is dramatical, and there's comedy involved and everything. So great presentation, and she sold me, because I bought it, and $100 and something later, I walked out with a whole bunch of hair products.
But they work.
Yes, they do.
So
really do. Yes.
Awesome. What about you, Miss Boomshika Rogers?
Well, I've been natural since 2015. I have done the big chop 3 times. My hair grows relatively quickly, and I get hot. So I have hot flashes. So I will, if it gets too long, like about right here, I buzz it off again. And my poor husband, he doesn't know what I'm going to come home looking like from time to time. But I have heard about Tracy Ellis Ross. My sister uses it, and I said I was going to try her products. She just became a member of my sorority, and we share the same line number. So I was like, oh, let me try it. Let me support soror. I have not gotten her products yet. My sister has them, and I'm going to her house to use them in a couple of weeks. I mean, why pay for it when you can get it for free? I have been using, in the past, I tried Taraji P. Henson's.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the products worked very well. Now, I agree that realistically, not all products go for all hair. We all have different types of hair. And under this beautiful, lovely white hair, I'm 100% Maasai warrior. So when people seem to think that, this light skin makes it this wavy. No. That's the one part of my roots that reached back there, and it got onto my Maasai warrior side. So I love that my hair gets really thick and really coily, and I love it. This is not the one you can do a wash and go. No, I need products. So for like the past, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 months, I've actually been using a product called Design. Everybody knows Designs. And I've been using a sulfate-free avocado shampoo with the conditioner and the leave-in conditioner. When I say I can do a 2-strand twist and I'm looking like $1 million, I already smell like the Irish sweepstakes. So when I go out with that, baby, that's what it's about for me.
right. Okay. Well, I'm going to switch from hair care because I'm not natural, not ready for that yet. But I'm going to go to skincare. And I used to use Mary Kay a long time ago. When I tell you long time ago, when they had the 5-step system, that's when I used Mary Kay. And then I stopped using them for whatever reason. But I came back because of a good friend that sells Mary Kay. And I tell you, she introduced me to this mask. I have it in my hand. It's this clear proof deep cleansing charcoal mask. That mask is the truth. That mask is the truth. I can, and I don't care what other products that you use, you can still use that mask and it works. Because when the pandemic hit, I started having, issues with my skin. I don't know if it was because of wearing masks all the time.
Yeah,
or
mask
what.
me. Yeah, I got the same thing. The mask, the breaking out right here.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. And so I had to start doing something. I normally before that didn't have issues with my skin. I mean, every once in a while, but it was like, look, this is getting crazy. But I keep that clear proof deep cleansing charcoal mask in my arsenal because that is what I can use to not only handle any breakouts, but to even clear up any dark spots, any type of hyperpigmentation. So I love it. That's my go-to. And I know that's not by us, but it's for me, so it can be for us.
Well, I'm gonna hit you with a product that's by us, and I
Okay.
discovered her a couple of months ago back. Again, the same thing with wearing the mask. I got the mask, and I've always had discoloration, the hyperpigmentation. I think that's just something among African Americans in general. But there is a sister out of New Orleans. Her name is Melissa Odom, and she has a story. She's an esthetician. The name of her line is called Queendom. Okay, and she has a place in New Orleans. She's a young sister, young mother. She came from humble beginnings. She has 3 children. This woman is about to be a millionaire. What I love about it is her products are definitely for hyperpigmentation. I'm using this turmeric soap that I use. She has everything is all natural, by the way, and I mean, definitely, I know she's on Instagram, but it's called Queendom, and she offers different, promos and everything. But what I love about this sister, and I've never met her, and I sometimes tune on to her, is not only is she, promoting her line, she's an esthetician. She has a full spa. You can get your massages and everything. What you call the V steaming, because that's the thing now. Everybody's getting the woo-ha steamed, which is wonderful. But she goes live and she offers classes. Like, she's always about empowering women. She has soap making classes, different types of workshops. So she's not just making her money. She's all about bringing other women into the business, and she's all about uplifting. And shout outs to her, because I mean, she is, but I like her. Back to the products. I love her products. She has a turmeric bar soap, which has really cleared me up. And she has a toner. And on top of it, she has like a scrub. And the scrub can actually be used for your skin. And, sometimes ladies, when we wear, our bathing suits, we get that dark area from shaving or whatever. It takes away all that hyperpigmentation. It can remove all over. And my skin has cleared up tremendously. And she also has a moisturizer. And it has shea butter. It's not heavy and has an SPF. All her products are handmade, and I order stuff, and the turnover rate, I get it in a couple of days. She's wonderful. But the name of her line is called Queendom. She has for acne, she has for hyperpigmentation, she has for everything. She's phenomenal.
Awesome. Well, I love that you said the shipping, because that's usually an issue. I hate to say that with a lot of products, especially those that are the small businesses that are doing things themselves. They don't ship very quickly, but to know that she ships fast and the product is ready, that's a plus.
Yes, because I ordered it like on a Monday, and I'm going to say by the end of the week, I had the product. And the thing about it is she sends, once you get, I like the new technology now, is once you sign on, they send you text messages so you can always check back. So, which is wonderful for me, because I feel like I'm talking to somebody, probably, even though they're giving the same message to 100,000 other people who are ordering the things, but that makes me feel special for that couple of minutes. And she answers back and everything. But I love her products, definitely. And I look forward, when I go to New Orleans, I am definitely going to book my appointment for my facial, my massage. I'm going to get my V steam. I'm going to be smelling and looking like $1,000,000. I like that melanin to be popping.
Yes, Dr. Sparks. Yes.
Yes.
Uh, any words on products, Boomshika Rogers?
Well, I am a Mary Kay consultant. So I've been using Mary Kay for years, and I am 75 years old. So,
Where? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Say what now?
Right.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not
Exactly.
75,
Exactly.
but I
Let me
have been
see your
using,
ID.
I've used Mary Kay for years. They do have, now I'm going to be completely transparent with everyone who's listening or watching. Um, some of their makeup, they've gotten a lot better with their makeup, but I really
Mm-hmm.
work with their skincare product. They have a Time Wise product and a Clear Proof product. And yes, that charcoal mask is amazing. If I used other products and I was like, oh, this is okay, but it didn't compare to that Mary Kay Clear Proof charcoal mask. And it's funny, it is one of my number one sellers, and I could sell out of that. Like if I have some in stock, they're going the same day. So it's a constant trying to get it. I have over the years, yes, I've used a lot of products over the years because I want my face to stay clear. Now, my grandmother didn't look her age. My mother doesn't look her age. None of my aunts do. And they use, wait for this one,
I know
oil
what you're about to say. Yes.
for years. And I was like,
Yes.
oil of Olay. And I started using oil of Olay at a young age because it really does have that SPF. And, you know, they say black don't crack, but baby, brown will let you down. You have to moisturize. I'm going to just tell you right now, you have to moisturize. And we, even though we're African Americans, or any of my melanated sisters who don't, you know, you might just say, oh, I'm a Jamaican, I'm not African. Look, honey, SPF is your friend. Whether you use it with Mary Kay or you use it with Queendom or you use it with any product, make sure you're getting a product with SPF because that's going to protect your skin from the harmful rays of the sun. And despite what we all think, we can burn. Black people can
Does
burn.
crack. Yes. And people, and can I also add too, I use SPF all year round because even though it's winter time, you know, the UV rays are still out there, everything from the environment. You're supposed to moisturize every day. I moisturize every day before I leave out of the house.
Yes,
definitely.
It is a must. It is
but
a
I'm
must.
still stuck on that 275.
I will be soon.
But you're 74 though.
I will be soon.
Wow. You look amazing.
That's that good living and lying.
Good and lying. And on that note,
And
we want to acknowledge, yes, we want to acknowledge Jocelyn the Yogi.
That's
says,
my cousin.
okay, thank you. I just want to make sure we acknowledge her because she chimed in. We don't want to forget our guests that pop in from time to time. And on that note, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we will be right back.
Hey, it's your girl Lisa Dene, and I want to tell you about a product that has changed my life. Rain Premium Sanitary Napkins. Rain products are infused with a Nobel Prize-winning material called graphene. It's the graphene strip that provides the various health benefits that can improve your quality of life during that time of the month. Listen, I've been very loyal to a certain brand of feminine products, but I've never experienced the results I get with Rain products. The difference is in the graphene strip. Using Rain products has totally eliminated the painful cramps I experience, and it can also help balance your body's pH, eliminate harmful bacteria, and help fight fatigue. Graphene moves heat away from your core to keep you cool and comfortable. Ladies, it's time to upgrade your feminine care with products that not only offer protection, but also improve your health and wellness. Place your order today and receive your premium sanitary napkins delivered directly to your door. Visit www.drfcare.com to make your purchase today. And don't forget to mention that your girl Lisa Dene and Stunner Radio sent you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this Girl Talk episode of The Recipe. We're going to go ahead and get back into our conversation, but we're going to move on to actual discussion topics now that we've gotten off of our skincare and hair care products. Now, first one up. Oh, let's see who that is. We're good? Okay. All right. That was quick. um, Okay, number one, how Shaquille O'Neal pushed Authentic Brands Group to buy Reebok. This is actually recent. This is August 2021. Shaquille O'Neal once had his sights set on owning Reebok. Now, with the news of the brand sale to Authentic Brands Corp, ABG, the former NBA athlete is one step closer to that dream. O'Neal has owned shares in ABG since 2015 when he sold his rights to his name brand to the company. On Thursday, the company, and this is August 21st, 2021, on that Thursday, the company behind dozens of brands and retail acquisitions, including Forever 21, Barney's New York, and JCPenney, entered into an agreement to buy Reebok brands from Adidas. The mostly cash deal is worth 2.1 billion euro, or about 2.1 billion at current exchange rate, and is set to close in quarter one of 2022. So, any thoughts on that?
Get your money, brother.
He a businessman. I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at him. He about his money. He realizes that now that basketball is over, not so much he's retired.
Yeah.
Now, you can't rely on that money. Okay. We hear about stories all the time. Athletes, they get all this money and they blow it doing whatever. He took his money and he said, okay, I have this money. Let me invest it and let me roll over and make more money. He's done Papa John's, right? He's done Papa John's. He's on the commercials. They have these car insurance commercials.
General.
He's on the General. He's all over the place. Every time you look around, you see him. He does. Yeah, the Aspercreme and something else. I'm not mad at him. Get your paper.
And it helps with his brand. What he is doing is building his brand. So when you think of certain things, you think of Shaquille O'Neal. When I think of the General, I think of Shaquille O'Neal. And I know Snoop has done car commercials for the General as well, but I don't think of Snoop. I think of Shaquille O'Neal. When you're thinking about Aspercreme, you're thinking of, oh, that's what Shaquille O'Neal does. And so all he's doing is building his brand and then getting his name out there to such a large audience. It's a smart move. It is a smart move. And Mr. O'Neal, I am not offended by cash. Now, I asked Rihanna to cash at me just $20. So my brother, in first quarter 22, if you want to bless somebody else, bless me. When you are handing out those blessings, you may bless me. If you need my cash app, let me know, my brother. But just get that money. And I'm here. You heard it from me first. Get that money, brother. Get that money.
It's funny that you mentioned I said the General, but Dr. Sparks talked about the insurance. I have never priced insurance, but somebody told me that really is some reasonable insurance and that you should check it out for car insurance. I haven't checked it out, but I have heard good things. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the little animated man, I was like, "What you doing, Shaq? What you doing?"
You're right.
Come
on,
but
bro.
Really?
Smart man. It was a smart move.
It was
smart move.
Yeah, it was.
All about Brandon. And guess what? A check probably every time he blinks, every time a commercial drops, blink. That's the check. That's the check. That's the check. I'm not mad at him. Get your checks.
Because it's about that legacy that you're leaving for your children. It's an inheritance. Even the Bible said we must leave an inheritance for our children and for generations to come. Shaq is setting up the inheritance for where his children's children's children should not have to work. They say, the first generation makes the wealth. The second generation, builds on it. And that third generation is usually the one that loses it. So you have to have a point to where as he's building this wealth, he's also educating his children who will educate their children. So the Shaquille O'Neal or the O'Neal name will continue to thrive for generations to come. It's a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome move, sir.
And even I think all of his kids somehow or the other, because I know they're in basketball, they're in college, and they're playing. But I think he's even set them up to the point where they're building their own brands. Even his ex-wife, whether we agree or disagree, she's built her brand. Everybody. So I think that whole family, they're all about, making their money, building their brands. Everyone has something going on in that family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next discussion. Comedian AJ Johnson passes away at age 56. Most of you know Johnson began his career by landing a role in House Party, after which he started performing stand-up comedy in Los Angeles. He also appeared in Lethal Weapon 3 and Menace to Society. In rap videos, he was featured in Dr. Dre's Dre Day, playing Sleazy E, a parody of Eazy-E. He appeared again as Sleazy E in the video for Eazy-E's Real Compton City G's. But his breakout role came in 1995 in Ice Cube's Friday, where he played Ezal. He starred in Panther, The Players Club, BAP, I Got the Hookup, Def Jam's How to Be a Player, and most recently, I Got the Hookup too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was something. That was something to hear that he had passed. I remember him well, and I was really surprised, to see that. Normally, I don't, go on a sour note and pull in something like that. However, there is another piece to this. Did you know that his wife started a GoFundMe because they're raising money to pay for his funeral expenses?
Mm-hmm.
And Johnson did not have a life insurance policy. And the thing that got me, it wasn't just about the policy. And I want your take on this. His wife was on TMZ, and she was saying that we are raising money because I have to pay for all of this out of pocket. And she said, I would absolutely appreciate any donations from friends or fans of AJ if they could contribute. And if no one comes through, she'll just cremate him and go back to work as soon as possible to cover that on her own. She started calling Johnson's fake friends and supporters, asking them, where's the love? She said, I'm asking for help, but if I don't get it, it's fine, because I'm not leaving my husband there like that. We're going to have a service. I'm going to do everything I know he would have done for me. And she said, it's hurtful that people are vowing to help, but not immediately coming through. And I guess my thought, because on previous discussions of this show, we have talked about the need for the African American community to get life insurance policies. We've talked about this. And I'm saying to myself, it's not that, I feel bad that he passed away. I'm not taking anything from that. But why do we leave the burden of that for his wife, who in turn is reaching out to other people who really don't have to donate? He should have had a life insurance policy. Why? Okay, I'll leave it there. Go ahead. Because I'm tired of hearing this, and especially hearing it with people that supposedly have money. Why don't you have a life insurance policy? So I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the same thing happened with Notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls. He didn't have a life insurance policy. He didn't. Really? No, he didn't have a will. I'm sorry. He didn't have a will.
Okay.
He didn't have a will. He had a policy.
Okay.
I apologize. Let me take that back. He had a thing. But I just don't think, you know what it is? And I have everything set up for me. Like, my family already knows. I don't think we, as a people, especially us, and I'm going to say it, we don't think that far ahead. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we will get the first dollar or the nickel or the dime we get, and we'll spend it on something extravagant, something that has no that depreciates the minute you either drive off with it, the minute you leave from the store. And we need to know how. We need to be mindful that, living here on this earth is not forever. Okay. And we need to have things in order. Have your money put away in the bank and not underneath the mattress. In the case that you should pass away, you should have a will, a trust, and have a policy. Nowadays, a lot of these policies don't cost a lot of money. It doesn't cost a lot of money to have a policy. What is it like? Sometimes you can get $30, $40. You know, policies vary, but you sit down and you get a great policy and you read over everything, read the fine print to make sure that when you pass away, it's able to cover the expenses of the funeral costs and to take care of whatever's left over to, you know, divide it amongst the family. If it needs to have, you need to have money, you know, to take care of everything. All that needs to be ironed out.
I think, you know, a lot of us are planning to live forever. And it's amazing how when you're at your height, you don't think it can happen to you. And I've said on this show before that life insurance is not for you. It's for the people you leave behind.
Thank you.
So as people are trying to figure it out, I mean, you don't have a care at this point because you're gone. And all of us that are behind are trying to figure out how to send you off properly and try to do something nice for you and the family so we can all not just grieve together, but celebrate your life. And a lot of times we don't think like that. I can say that, praise God, with my job, I've had a life insurance policy since I was 19 years old. The moment they said, you want life insurance? Yes. Not because I wasn't on my parents, but because I didn't want them to have to worry about that. I got life insurance policies on my children, not because I anticipated that they would go, but in the event that one of my children should not see tomorrow, the last thing I want to worry about is how I'm going to bury my child. And crazy enough, my husband, like, look, you have a life insurance policy. I don't need a lot of money because I have been working for 27 years straight. Money is not going to be an issue as far as can I make it without you. But we have children. You have a mother and a father who may want something special done for you. And look, we got to pay for that. Because if your mom says to me, this is what I want for my son, guess what? Her son is going to get it because this is for them. So if anyone out there is still contemplating whether or not, you know, I don't need life insurance, I can live forever. You know what? I'm too young. I'm only 40. Let me tell you something. Death doesn't have a favorite number.
That's right.
Death doesn't discriminate across race, sexual orientation, culture, economic status. Death comes when it comes. So please, if you don't have a policy, there's these insurance, you can get a $50,000, a $500,000 policy for $30 a month. $30 a month. Now,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with what she said. A lot of policies don't cost $25, $30. Instead of spending it frivolous, that's money that, you know, take it out of the lunch money, something instead of buying sneakers and materialistic things. And that's what happened. A lot of the money that people, some, not all, because like you said, I have a policy, my son has a policy. And again, it's about protection in the case that you should, when you transition and go to live with be among the ancestors, is to make sure your family doesn't have to scramble to get together and everybody call up this cousin and that cousin and all of these relatives down south to get money together, to pull together to bury someone. We see it all the time. Too many GoFundMe pages are popping up because people don't have the burial cost. And that's all it takes is $20, $30, $40 a month. There's various policies. Just read them to, you know, to pay upon. We pay for everything else. We pay for the materialistic things. We pay for the frivolous things, but we won't pay for something that in the long run is going to benefit not only our families, but, you know, protect us, you know, protect our families so they can have something, you know, after we leave this earth.
And talk about your wishes. I told my mom I want to be cremated because I don't want that money going in the ground. Give that to my children. And she said, well, you better write it down because I'm not burning you. I can't burn your body. And, you know, a couple of months ago, as I was going through some things with my son, and he said, Mom, I want to be cremated too. And we were going through a lot of stuff, going back and forth to the doctor. And I was sitting up here, and this is a hard decision
Mm-hmm.
when you're a mom. And my
Mhm.
son is telling me I want to be cremated. And I'm looking at him. And the first thing I said was, I can't burn his body. I can't do it. And I said, son, I don't think I'm able to do it. And he said, well, tell my brother to do it because he'll follow my wishes. And I'm going to just tell you, if your parent can't make that decision for you, you need to appoint somebody who will follow your wishes. Because I know my mom is not going to be able to have me cremated. I already know this. So my son is responsible for making sure I get cremated because I don't want to spend $5,000 on a casket and another $3,000 for you to have me put into the ground, and then another $2,500 for a headstone. It's unnecessary. And I have family members that are funeral directors. Please forgive me, but they prey on your grief. So make sure that you have someone who's going to be responsible enough to follow your wishes.
It's a business for them, because I have a friend, actually one of my sorority sisters, her family is their funeral owners, and it's second, third generation. It's business.
It's business.
And you can't, you can't fault them, because that's a, you don't ever have to worry about ever having any financial, that's an ongoing business.
That will be here until Jesus comes.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we've got to do better because, out of this, I mean, it's like we have this person that passes away, and the focus shifts. It shifted completely from the person passing to how are we going to bury them. That shouldn't even be a discussion. We should still be able to celebrate or grieve, however we feel based on this person. But no, you can't grieve or celebrate because you're trying to think about how you're trying to get the money together to bury the person. That doesn't make sense. Get a life insurance policy.
And I have questions again. And I know everyone's that this is a man who has had a pretty fair run as far as movies. I'm wondering, and things happen, COVID happened, things happen or whatever, but I'm concerned about his finances. Like, if you're doing this, what happened to your finances? I mean, who was managing your finances? What was going on with your finances? That was my concern. What have you been doing with your money? Have you been investing when comedy and acting didn't go? Did you have like these are things that, these are the questions that I have. Because he made money, and I think he was still out there with he was doing stand up, and I understand COVID hit, but these are movies, and if I'm not mistaken, when the movies play again, don't they get some type of royalty check if a movie is playing or something? If it's playing, if it's shown again on TV like BET or whatever the channels are, they get some type of royalty checks, if I'm not mistaken, some type of checks.
Not always. So it depends on what their contract was like. If they got paid for the movie.
Okay.
And you have to think about what that time was. Let's say Friday was a great movie. But if you elected to say, okay, if you give me $50,000 to play these parts, because he wasn't a major character in that movie. He wasn't an Ice Cube. He wasn't a Chris Tucker. He was like in the movie. So if they say, okay, we're going to give you, let's say at that time, $25,000. And that's a lot of money for you at that time. So let me take this $25,000 because you don't know if this movie's going to hit or not. But then, Chris Weaver I think he sang in the first Lion King. He was Simba. He was baby Simba, and he was singing all through the Lion King. And he got some really good advice from his mom. So they were going to offer him, a less amount of money, but he would get royalties, or this, hey, we'll give you $150,000. I don't know what the amount was. And, that's what you get for this movie. So he chose the smaller amount plus royalties. And every time they play that song, he gets a check. Every time that movie comes on anywhere, he gets a check. Anytime someone sells that DVD, he gets a check. Well, that's because his mom understood the business. But if you don't understand it at that time, and if he only took $50,000, that's not going to last you a year. And so you get into a position where you need it and you need more now, and you're not looking at the long term. He could have easily just signed off for, look, this is what I'm getting paid for the movie. There's nothing else to it. And I mean, it's one of those things to where if you're in the business, we need to invest in teaching our people how to manage their money and how to read and negotiate a better contract. But some people are just trying to get in, and that may have been him. He may have just been trying to get in. Don't know.
You never know. He was probably maybe offered deals or whatever. You know, people in the business, that business is entertainment business, you know.
Yeah. I think my question would be, because his wife is reaching out, and I read her I don't know if it was a tweet or whatever she put out, that all these people are paying him homage and wish you well. So what do you say to those who like an Ice Cube, who's like, I don't have an obligation to pay, and he doesn't. I don't think you should try. And you know what? I'm not saying anything about her. I understand you need this help, but you're going to move on if you don't get it. I get it. But no one has an obligation. And I don't think you should try to make someone feel guilty for not doing something. I just don't think that's right. I understand her pain and her frustration, but they don't have an obligation at all.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, comedian actress Coca Brown. And I got to give a huge shout out to my girl, Dr. Stepheny Finnie, because she put me on. What? To the Jewel Sanitary Napkin. These babies are amazing. Not only are they good to me, they're good for me. Not only do they help with absorption, moisture control, and protection, because yes, sometimes I like to wear white, but these babies also have a great ingredient called graphene that helps with cramps. Huh? Are you kidding me? So you're telling me that I'm protected and I can control my moods a little bit? I love it. So please make sure you hit up my girl, Dr. Stepheny Finnie. They have a variety of sizes for every kind of flow, whether it's heavy, light, overnight, she got you. So make sure you hit up my girl, Dr. Stepheny Finnie, and get you some Jewel Sanitary Napkins today. I strongly endorse these, honey, especially if you're like me. You need all the help you can get for that time of the month. All right?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this Girl Talk episode of The Recipe with Dr. Katrina Sparks, Boomshika Rogers, and myself, Dr. Stepheny Finnie. All right, we don't have much time left, but I really want to get into this because this is another recent news clip that I found, and I think it's very insightful. Henrietta Lacks family commemorates her 101st birthday by hiring attorney Benjamin Crump, and this was in August of 2021. The prominent civil rights attorney will seek compensation from big pharmaceutical companies for making fortunes off medical research from Henrietta Lacks' famous cancer cells. Crump's legal team is investigating lawsuits against as many as 100 defendants and haven't ruled out a case against the Johns Hopkins Hospital. And for those who are unaware about this history, a Hopkins doctor collected a sample of cancer cells from Henrietta Lacks when she was a young mother without her knowledge or permission nearly 7 years ago, dubbed the HeLa cells. They were the first to live outside the body in a glass tube and have been used to develop everything from COVID-19 vaccines to sunscreen, etc., to include in vitro fertilization. And Crump said this is a continued example of the long and troubling history of the medical exploitation of Black people in America. Your thoughts?
Every time those cells, anytime it's used for medical purposes, the family should always get a check. Those checks should be continuing. The generation, the next generation. I'm familiar with the story. I read the book. I saw the story on, I believe Oprah Winfrey did the story. I believe it came on. And it's just sad. It's just sad that, using her as, this woman was sick. She had cancer, I believe ovarian cancer, correct? She had ovarian cancer, and unbeknownst, they used her cells. And they're all over the place, I think, for AIDS research, for cancer research, and they're still being used to this very day. and the families didn't even know about it.
Mm-hmm. And you realize that Big Pharma patented all this medication and things that came from her sales. So every time they get a check, every time the insurance pays for something, some royalties need to go back to her family. I mean,
some
I
nice
agree with that
royalties.
100%. Because as long as they're making money off of her, somebody else in her family needs to be getting paid. It's unfortunate that for years, especially Black women, we were the guinea pigs. You know, for years they thought that we didn't feel pain. And I've shared my story before. Yes, we feel pain. So they would experiment on us without anesthesia, just because we're animals.
Yes,
At
and
least.
they figured we had a high threshold. You know, we had
For
a
pain.
tolerance for pain, and let's stand corrected that it's still going on today. How many
Yes,
women
it
that we
is.
hear that go into labor and they complain about labor, or they're having pains, or something is going on, and they get shunned away. And if I'm not mistaken, it was someone else. I'm going to say, I can't think of her name. She was a judge. Her daughter-in-law passed away during childbirth because she was complaining about being in pain, and she hemorrhaged or something and caused the baby live, but she didn't.
Yeah. You know, I think about this, and you know, it's like I know that they said that when Henrietta passed away, I believe it was like 1951, or it was like very early age of like 31, 30, something like that, and it was from an aggressive strain of cervical cancer. Her death is what helped to establish the common rule, which is an ethical standard for informed patient consent in the medical community. But even with that, just because it was established at that point, you still done wrong previously. You have to backtrack that wrong. First of all, they should get a lump sum of money to backtrack all of the things that have been benefited from because of her sales. I mean, it's been the AIDS HIV cocktail has benefited from her sales. It's not just COVID. It's not just, but this is another reason why maybe a lot of people in the African community, because we had this conversation on another show, maybe this is why a lot of African Americans still have not taken the vaccine. Do you ever think about that?
Well, we know
trust
that.
Factor.
We know that the Tuskegee experiment, people are always, especially within the Black and brown community, we are still, regardless, I hear it all the time. And I speak to my friends who are doctors, who are, you know, African American, people of color, however you want to be politically correct. There is still some within the Black community and the brown community. There is still this distrust. We do not trust because of history. And yes, we can't keep saying, well, that happened a long time ago, whatever. No, people are still trusting, because to this day, whether or not we want to admit it, there are people who do not live in our neighborhoods, who do not relate to us, but however, that are doctors that have license is to practice medicine, that continue to use us as guinea pigs. It is what it is. And I have great insurance, and I'm sure you have great insurance. But let me tell you something. With my insurance, I'm going to ask questions. You're not going to give me the okey-doke. And if I don't feel comfortable with something, I'm going to ask. And if I don't feel comfortable, guess what? There's a second opinion. And that's what happens. We don't know. A lot of us, our people are not knowledgeable. They don't know. They take the word of the doctor. And some doctors have good intentions. I'm not saying all, but some don't, and want to use this as test duns, or just don't care. They're in here to do whatever they need to do. And that's what it is. There is we do not trust. Our people just do not trust. That's why everyone feels that way. And I mean, you can go back and forth about it or whatever. The Tuskegee experiment, there were experiments before that. Prior, during slavery time, there were experiments. How, you know, they removed the women's reproductive systems and everything, with, like you said, with no anesthesia. They would perform lobotomies, brain surgery with no anesthesia, because they were under this impression that we had a high threshold for
That's
pain.
right. That's
and
right.
we could stand it. And people don't forget.
No, especially when it's still, I'm not saying all of that, but some of that is still happening. This is why, I don't remember the name of it again, but I talked about Serena Williams partnering with that young lady to start that. It's like an online thing. It's called HUED or something like that. HUED, something like that. And it's where you can go into this system and find quality medical services and medical care and medical doctors, because too many people have had issues or scares with going to the doctor and finding out that, when you get there, either one, they don't believe you,
Yes.
or they bring you in and they tell you, oh, you go through all these tests and, it's like, it's something still there. Something's not right. I need to get checked out. Oh, you're fine. And then you go home and then you find out later it really was something important or something crazy or something that could have been avoided. And this is still happening. So if you want to bridge that trust factor, you got to start doing better. And, I think that's why we're in the position that we're in right now with COVID-19 vaccines. I don't see why we wouldn't be in the situation because of that. That trust factor is not there.
So, and I've said this not on this show, but in another setting with some friends of mine, like, I think it would be a lot easier for us to trust a product if when you go in to take the vaccine, they don't ask you what's your race. Because if it's universal, race shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter if I'm a man or woman. It shouldn't matter if I'm 65. It shouldn't matter if I'm Black, Asian. So what is that? And they want to tell you, oh, we're trying to get some demographics. This is a global virus that is out there killing everyone indiscriminately. What do you need my race for when I'm coming in to get a vaccine that's going to help me and all other people across the globe of all races? My race is not an issue. But when I have to fill out a form, and all medical forms will ask you race, does it matter if you're practicing the same medicine for everyone? Until
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead, sir. No, I'm saying it should have at the bottom, or I prefer not to identify.
Sometimes they do.
Same medicine. It shouldn't matter, right? If you're giving me the same quality of care, why does my race play a factor?
It shouldn't.
It should.
But they're saying it's for research. It's for research purposes. And what they're doing here also, and I've seen the commercials. If you see the commercials now, they're, trying to, get people to, become vaccinated. They're putting people of color, they're putting African Americans. I'm in New York. So they're putting African Americans, you're getting Latino, Middle Eastern, they're putting medical doctors. And I believe I forgot what it says. He's underneath Dr. Fauci. I can't think of his name right now. I believe he is Middle Eastern. I think he's Indian, Middle Eastern. Yes.
Something like
and
that.
they have him now. He's shooting the commercial. He's going on and they're doing the commercials with them, which is great and everything. But people are still looking at the commercials like, yeah, okay. But they're not also looking at it that way. They're looking at it as, you're a doctor. You getting paid. You're getting paid to do that. We still don't trust you. Because I have a friend, one of my sorority sisters, she's a doctor. We just spoke a couple of days ago about the booster. And I always like to speak, again, I don't like to get into the debate about vax or no vax. But we talked about the other day and I had questions. And I went to her and she says, even, she looks like you. She looks like you. It looks like us. But she still gets the side-eye from our people. Because, yeah, that's wonderful. You're a doctor and, you're providing. But, we know that you're in the field. A lot of people don't believe that in the community, the Black and the brown community do not believe that, doctors that look like them still have their best interests. So there's still definitely a trust, even when your folks look like you.
Well, we're still looking at history because with the Tuskegee experiment, it was a sister that kept bringing young brothers in.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
There's a history behind that. At some point, I think everyone will make their own informed decision. So if you're out there and you choose not to, that's fine.
Yeah,
Absolutely fine. If you've done the vaccine, awesome. That's fine too. I just want everyone to make an informed decision and make the best decision for them. And if the vaccine is not the best decision for you, okay. But don't shun those who've been vaccinated. And don't try to be a bully to the vaccinated, and vice versa. Look, I have friends that said, I'm not getting vaccinated. No problem.
Okay.
I respect your decision.
Yeah, but you can't come to my house.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do. It's like, look,
Yeah.
6 feet, please.
or, because I feel like I'm protected. I had to,
Yeah.
the people in my house are vaccinated. And it's like, okay, look, this is the real deal. I have to protect me and mine. You protect you and yours however you want to. So if it happens and you're sick and something happens to you, you know what? I'm going to pray for you, but I can't come see you. I can't come see you. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to mind my business.
Y'all know, right? You're going to continue to do that no matter what. All right. Well, that is it for this segment of the Recipes Girl Talk. Dr. Sparks, did you have any last comments?
Basically, thank you for having me. I always, I like to be in front of the camera and I love to talk. I love some girl talk. But I had a question. I have to ask, because we were talking behind the scenes. How did you get a name like Boom Keisha? How did you get that name? How did that come about?
Oh, Boom Shika.
Yes, yes. I'm sorry. I apologize for the.
Okay, so Boom Shika is a ghetto superstar, and that's what I am.
Ow.
Yes.
Ow.
Yeah.
Is it like, okay, so I'm like, when you're out and about, you with your hubby or whatever, do they call you like, hey, Boom?
It's funny. I have quite a few people call me Boom, or they call me Boom Boom. They do.
I haven't heard that in a long time. Remember the boom boom? I remember that. I haven't heard that word in a long time. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Boom Shika Rogers, any last comments from you?
Everyone be safe out there. Live your best life and think about those who you're leaving behind. So get your insurance. If you don't get vaccinated, more power to you. If you get vaccinated, more power to you too. Let's just live peacefully together and mind your business.
Absolutely. Mind the business that pays you.
Amen.
I believe that.
Okay.
To live life.
All right.
Amen.
All right. Well,
Ashe.
Well, everyone, thank you for listening and watching. Thank you for taking time out of your day to connect on this segment of Girl Talk with Dr. Stepheny Finnie, Dr. Katrina Sparks, and Ms. Boomshika Rogers. Before I go, if you are on Instagram, please tune in tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I provide a serving of health and wellness in the area of feminine care. And for any men out there, please do not shy away from this topic, because if you have important women in your life, you also need to know about this information. Well, that's it for us. We hope you enjoyed this segment of the Recipes Girl Talk. And now I'm going to leave you with singer, songwriter, television personality, and founding member of Sisters with Voices, Lily from SWV, to provide her endorsement of Rain, previously known as Jewel Feminine Care. See you next time on The Recipe as we bring you all of the ingredients for living your best life. Take care.
And the packaging, it says Jewel on it. And she sent me so many different, it's for moderate flow, heavy flow. Hold on. And this was my favorite.
That is my favorite.
I can always appreciate an overnight. But what I was really impressed by was the length, how long it was,
and how it's not as thick.
If you guys still get those funky friends, sometimes that thing could just be out of control and never do what you asked it to do. It'd be all over the place. But honestly, I had absolutely no problems at all. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate this product so good, because a lot of people, they want to send you stuff, and it's like, okay, you want to believe in everybody, but everybody's product is not a good product, especially something when it comes to feminine hygiene and sanitary this and you got to be very careful, because sometimes, whatever the stuff is made with, it don't always agree with your body chemistry. But I had absolutely no problems, and I wouldn't even say this if I didn't mean it. I gave the girls in my podcast, they use it. My podcast member, she don't even use sanitary napkins. She's like a tampon girl. Mm-hmm. But she really appreciated this, and I thought, I have to tell you this. I couldn't wait to get on here to tell you this. So for everybody that's on here that's still going through them, getting those monthly visitors, please support Dr. Finnie's business. I tried it myself and I love it.